30s, times were very bad in Ireland. If you were poor, you were poor. And if you had nothing, you had nothing. But then the blind pension came into being. So if you were blind, or could pretend you were blind, you got the blind pension of free wireless and 2 glass batteries to go with it. There was this man living here in Newport, and he was getting it very hard to make a living. He had a small wife and a big family. What the hell was this? He says to the wife, we're not going to starve. I'll go blind and I'll draw the blind pension. He had an old stick in the house and he whitewashed the stick white and struck for the doctor. Poked his way into the surgery. Well, said the doctor, what is the matter with you? Oh, he says, I'm blind and I want to get a certificate from you so they can draw the blind pension. Well, the doctor put him sitting on a chair and he got a little torch and he shone it into one eye for a while. Then he crashed over the bridge to the other eye and he shone it in there for a while. Tell me, said the doctor, what age are you? Well, he said, it's not me age I'm complaining about, but I'm 40 years. Well, now, said the doctor, for a man of 40 years, I think you have perfect eyesight. Oh, not at all, doctor. I never disagreed with a doctor before in my life. I can't see a stime, whatever the hell a stime was. Doctor, he says, you see that picture you've hanging over there on the wall with the flying ducks on it? So the doctor turns around. I see it, said the doctor. Well, that's the trouble with me, said the Newport man, I can't. Well, the doctor wouldn't certify that he was blind. But I'll tell you what I'll do with you. I'll give you right to go before the tribunal in Galway and let them decide whether you're blind or not. So the next morning he got on the early bus from Newport, white stick and all, up to Galway, poked his way into the tribunal. And there was a fella there waiting for him with a white coat, a long nose and a tash like Hitler. He wouldn't have the tash at all, only the nose was that long, he couldn't get the razor up between himself and the lip to take it off. And he examined the Newport man for about an hour, and he had him driven up the wall. And when he had that done, he started asking him questions like, was your father blind? No, my father was. Was your mother blind? No, my mother wasn't. Was your grandmother blind? Newport man could stick it no longer. Stood up, got his white stick. Look at it, he says, I'm entitled to the blind pension and you're trying to do me out of it. And what's more, he says, I know people that are getting the blind pension and they're no more blind than I am. Got his white stick, poked his way out of the tribunal up to the bus stop. And when he arrived there, he found that the 3 o'clock bus had gone for Newport and there wasn't another bus at 7 o'clock in the evening. It was cold and he hadn't much money. He wondered how he passed the evening. He looked across at the Savoy cinema and there he sees the kids ganging up going into the matinee. Damn it, he says, for the sake of a shilling it'll pass the evening. Got a shilling ticket and there he was sitting down in the cinema watching Hopalong Cassidy and Gabby Hayes while one at one another. And the next thing, who comes in and sits down beside him, one of the fellow of the tribunal that was after examining him. And when your man had a side look and when he saw him, so he nearly fainted. He knew when the lights would go on, he was in trouble. And there he was with his head under him, wondering how we get out of the situation. So after a while thinking, he tapped your man out of the tribunal on the shoulder. Excuse me, he says, whoever you are, but would you ever tell me, am I on the right bus for Newport? Thank you. Of course, everyone here, I think, knew Matt Maguire. And I knew him very well because on this very stage, along with a lot of these here, we took part both in plays and concerts. And we travelled with Martin to drama festivals all over the country. But one of the things I'll always think about is Eamon, my drum, he was a great fisherman. And one day I says to Martin, I says, what was the biggest salmon you took out of the Newport River? Well, says Martin, when I took the salmon in on the bank, the water dropped 6 inches. So that was a big... Well, this was a song that I often intended to do here in Newport, and very seldom I do it. It was about a man that was in the Civil War. He was shot down, he was below the town, and down the Radaway. Jim Moran was his name. And this was a song that I had years ago, but very seldom I'd sing it. Oh, Newport foremost in the fight, when freedom's war began. Many a hero lost his life, and many a rebel is gone. Another song of grief and woe we have for hope and cheer. Another martyr he's laid low, our Newport volunteer. Oh yes, he was a gallant man, patriot wise and true. When Michael Kilroy he raised the flag on high, what did Jim Moran do? For a public he did stand, in his heart there was no fear. He grasped the rifle in his hand, our Newport volunteer. When in the fight he was so brave, as loud his rifle rang. 'Twas little he knew that he would meet Mulcahy's murder gang. Mobroon the spies were taken around, his hour for death was near. For the Free State blood did him surround, our Newport volunteer. He quickly knew his business, he prayed to God on high. The shots go through the hills around, and bleeding he did lie. Several bullets pierced him through, God help his mother dear. For he lived and died for Ireland, our Newport volunteer. Oh, Newport rebels shed a tear for comrades that are gone. For in Brazil Jim Moran lies, he was a gallant man. And all who thinks of him today will think of a man without fear. For he lived and died